Between job stress, AI, and hustle culture, it can feel like we're all racing to prove our worth through constant productivity. But what if doing more is actually holding us back? Our next guest says it's time to slow down, set some boundaries, and redefine what success really means. She's the author of Toxic Productivity: Reclaim Your Time and Emotional Energy in a World That Always Demands More. Let's welcome author and psychotherapist. We have Isra Nasser. Good to have you on the show today, Isra.
Hi, I'm very happy to be here.
Yes, this is a good topic to talk
Mhm.
about because I'm sure a lot of people feel a lot of what this is. So, I mean, in a world just driven by AI, especially constant notifications and nonstop competition,
Mm.
what does toxic productivity actually look like for the average person just trying to keep up?
Toxic productivity in day-to-day life looks like being very laser focused on outcomes and achievements and getting that milestone and hitting that next destination of what you feel like is success, but at the expense of your wellness. So, at the expense of sleep, food, exercise, you're skipping all of that. And the only way you feel good about yourself or your relationships or your work is if you are achieving something. So, how good you feel about yourself becomes completely dependent on the things that you achieve.
Yes, and it bleeds into other days, other parts of our lives. So you've said that toxic productivity isn't a
Mhm.
time management problem, but an emotional one. So what is the underlying feeling that fuels this need to just kind of always be doing something?
Gosh, I think it's one of the reasons that a lot of time management habits don't really stick because the powerful emotions of shame. So feeling like you're ashamed of what you've achieved, what other people have done more. So there's comparison, there's a fear of being left behind, there's a fear of missing out. And so these powerful emotions really lead us to overcommit, to say yes when we really need to say no. I mean, how many times have you slept in on a weekend and then immediately felt guilt, right? That's a powerful emotion that pushes you to say yes and overcommit and do a lot more. And when we are being driven by unresolved emotions, we're not actually connected to our values. And so
Mhm.
that's why so many people feel burnt out because their lives are just not value aligned.
Yes, and you mentioned many people feeling guilty just for resting, especially when they see others or even AI working around the clock. It's this comparison, like you mentioned earlier. So, how can we start to view rest as a strength instead of laziness?
Rest, I also like to say, is not just a time management issue, it's also an emotion management issue. It's about feeling safe. So, a lot of times you have some time, and immediately you're like, well, what can I do? What can I do so that my rest is perfect, right? So, we even take this toxic productivity mindset towards rest. So, if you're somebody who struggles with rest, one thing I always recommend people doing is start by doing micro rests.
Mm.
So instead of thinking of rest as a reward for a week's worth of hard work, think about rest as a requirement to make it through the day. So, similar to eating and drinking enough water to survive the day, trying to bake in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even a 3-minute meditation in between meetings. Those are ways of resting.
Mhm.
And research shows that there's actually 7 types of rest. So it's not just sleep, it's not just vegging out on the couch. You can do social rest, which is connecting with people. You can do creative rest, which is crafts, activities, hobbies. You could do emotional rest, which is like journaling or meditation. And so there's so many different ways we can access rest, especially if we don't have like 60 minutes to nap in the middle of the afternoon.
Yes. Well, and I like that you broke it down that way. Like, hey, there's different ways to rest. Because when you said, hey, you do a little bit of journaling, I'm like, actually, that sounds nice. And it seems like when you take it in bite
Mhm.
size, maybe, like you said, you don't feel as guilty about it, which can lead to being more okay with taking rest. It's okay to do so. What would you say are some steps we can
Yeah.
take today to start untangling our self worth from our to-do list? Because I am a to-do list person, and if I don't complete all the things, I feel this kind of like, oh, I didn't do everything I needed to. So how can we kind of separate that?
Yeah, if you're a to-do list person, one of the things we can do today to tap out of toxic productivity is to really know how to identify the important things on the to-do list versus the urgent things on the to-do list. So a lot of toxic productivity is dependent on a false sense of urgency. Oh, I have to do this today. I have to do this today. I have to respond immediately, right? So thinking about which pieces of your to-do list is important versus urgent can help you push off the things that are not necessarily so time constrained, freeing up some time for you.
Yeah.
If you're somebody who really just wants to kind of tap into a little bit more of a more healthier productivity, I would really recommend trying to spend at least a 15 or 20-minute block of solo time once a week. So if you could even do like a dinner or a lunch on your own where you're not on your phone, you're not listening to something, you're not even music,
Mm.
but just like a solo date with yourself, even if you do it once a week or once every 2 weeks, what that does is it allows you to tap into your emotions so you can actually start making changes. Like
Mhm.
we can't change something if we don't know it. So
Right.
even a 20-minute morning session on a Sunday before the whole family wakes up,
Yeah.
just on your own, can really help put you on the path of living a more intentional life, especially around the holidays. This mindset comes up a lot in the holiday season.
Yes. Well, I like that. I'm going to take that note of doing a solo date, starting off that way, and then seeing what progresses from it. So this is very helpful information, again, as we're in the workflow, the hustle culture, and this just helps us kind of understand it's okay to set boundaries, take those breaks, take that rest.
Mhm.
I'm going to let our viewers know where they can go for more info, but thank you again, Isra. And to our viewers, you can purchase Isra's book, Toxic Productivity, where books are sold, and find out more about her work by heading to isranasser.com.